Hey everyone, today's video is going to be a video where we test something out. I found this on Amazon. It is the Aleene's Original Tack-It Over and Over bottle. It is 4 ounces. It's about $5 on Amazon. I heard that this is a really good thing to use to make your cutting mats sticky again. You can use this on your Cricut cutting mats or even on your silhouette cutting mats. But I have a ton of cutting mats that I've just kept. I never threw them away, and I used to buy one or like a pack or two every other month. So I have a lot of Cricut cutting mats, and I want to try this on that. Supposedly, if you spread this on, if you dilute it with water and spread it onto your mat and leave it overnight to dry, it will make it sticky again, just like when you bought it, or even a little bit more sticky depending on how much of this you use. So that's what we're going to do today. Alright, so go ahead and get your cutting mat. If it's very dirty, make sure to clean it off first. Anytime I was needing to make my mat sticky again, I would put double-sided adhesive tape on them, and that's why you see like these little white spots, because that's where the paper actually got stuck to that tape and never came off. Like I said, if yours is really dirty, get some, go to the sink with your mat and scrub it with some warm water and some soap, and just scrub it to make sure it's completely clean. Mine's not all that dirty except for those little spots, so I'm going to go ahead and just make sure to take that off real quick. Okay, so once your mat is relatively clean, you're going to take this bottle of Tack-It Over and Over. I've went ahead and just taken off the entire top, but normally you would just take this little thing off and you would trim it depending on how big you want the opening to be. But you basically mix 1 ratio of this to 1 ratio of water. So they say to use about a quarter sized amount, and you should be able to do multiple cutting mats with it. So that's what I'll do today. Quarter sized amount of this, and then a quarter sized amount of water. So I went ahead and already done that. Mix it together, and it basically just looks like milk, or like watered down white glue. Just get your foam brush, dip it in there, and then just brush it over your mat. Side to side, I would think, is best. They say to use a very thin layer, because if you do a thick layer, it would be like a thick layer of nail polish. It's never going to fully dry completely, and honestly doesn't look good. So side to side, just like this. And then they do recommend to let it dry overnight, about 24 hours, to give it the best, I guess, feel. I don't like to wait for stuff, so I'm not going to lie, I'm probably going to touch it every couple of hours to see if it's tacky. You can see it just looks like it's wet at this point, but nothing's coming off, so make sure you didn't put too much. So I'll let you guys see every couple of hours what it's coming along like, and then I will show you the final result of it in 24 hours, and then we can discuss if I like it, if I hate it, and that way you guys can decide if you want to buy this for yourself. See you guys in a couple of hours. It has been, I want to say, about an hour or two since I have put it on, and some places are feeling tacky, whereas others, like that's not really anything. But yeah, I will continue to let it dry and update you guys in just a bit. Alright, you guys, so it's actually been 2 days since I put on the solution of this Aleene's Tack-It Over and Over onto my Cricut cutting mat. Time just slipped away from me, but from what I read, it doesn't really matter how long you let it dry, because it's meant to just stay tacky until that tackiness eventually runs out, because you used it over and over again, and then you just reapply the solution. So I haven't even touched it. I did touch it like 2 hours after I initially did it to check it out, but other than that, I haven't checked it out yet, so that way you guys can see my initial reactions to see if it works, because again, as I mentioned before, we spend a lot of money on these mats, and I really don't want to anymore, you know? So this is the mat. As you can see, it doesn't look any different from before. I actually ended up doing 3 mats, but this is just the one that was closest to me, so I grabbed it. I'm going to touch it. So you can you hear that? I feel like I'm doing ASMR. If you don't know what that is, look it up on YouTube right now. Like, just pause real quick and check it out. You're welcome, okay? So, it's got some tackiness to it. Now, I'm sure any of you guys that are watching this is because you have a cutting mat. You know that when you take off that little clear protective layer from your cutting mats and you touch it, it's super sticky. Like, even the light ones, I think it's the pink one or the blue one that's meant for like a light stickiness. Like, if you were to go like this, it would stick to your hands. I do that sometimes. I can't help myself, and it sticks to your hands completely. So this level of stickiness is definitely nowhere near that one, but it's definitely a little bit stickier than it was before I put on the solution. So I'm going to stick a piece of paper on there. I'm going to stick cardstock because obviously that's what I normally work with. It's not like I would put a piece of computer paper on there. I'm just going to take some leftover cardstock. And I'm just going to lay it flat. I'm going to press it down like I normally do. And I'm going to see if it comes off like by itself, because what happens with my paper, once my mats become unsticky, even just the simple act of me going from here to my Cricut machine, it ends up like coming off like on the edges, and that's how I really know, like, okay, I need to get a new mat, you know, because it's like not even staying for like 5 seconds. So this is it on. So it's staying by itself, so that's pretty good. I probably need to press it down a little bit more on some areas. Trying to see, did it come off from the top there? And I know you guys aren't going to be doing this, you know, to your projects, but again, it's just simple stuff like that, you know, because when it's in your Cricut machine and it's going in and out, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have like a flat surface right here for where it's going in and out. So it usually just hangs off of the edge of my cart like this. So it ends up allowing this paper to come up naturally by itself. And I have to watch it as it's cutting and going in and out and press it back down, because I'll see that my paper is starting to come up as it's going in and out of the machine like this. So that's why I'm doing this, just to kind of imitate, I guess, that action a little bit. So it does seem like it's coming up a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Again, I mean, it's better than having to, I guess, throw away the mat because it wasn't sticky anymore. So I'm thinking that what I'll do with my next set, or the next time I do this, is maybe put a little bit more of the a little bit more of this compared to how much water I put into it, because the directions, or people were saying, there was no specific directions, I'm just literally going off of the reviews that I saw on Amazon. People were saying, you know, a quarter-sized amount of this with a quarter-sized amount of water, so like your ratio would need to be the same. I'm thinking what I'll do is put maybe like 2 parts this, 1 part water, and see how that works next time. So I'll probably, if it does come out like great, I'll probably just post about it on my Facebook group, or maybe in my Instagram stories. But yeah, I mean, it was only $5. Still, $5 can be a lot, you know. You guys know that I'm cheap. I'm all about saving money for you guys. But it was $5 on Amazon. It's a 4-ounce bottle. I think I'll definitely use it again, but really just for that. I don't really know what else people use it for, I guess. So Oh, well, temporary glue is what people were saying. Like if you need something to stick to the wall, but only for like a day because you don't want it to stick forever, they were using it, you know. So anyways, let me know if you guys have used this before, if there's any tips or tricks to it, you know, that I should know about. Any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.